2 fights. Just a boxing match or no holds barred, battle royale, anything goes outside of guns and knives, any weapons. Who you got, Clarissa or Remy? First in the boxing, just boxing. Second, Texas steel cage death
Okay,
match.
so you get
2 fights
in their element.
Yeah.
Man, that girl, Clarissa is a trained fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's the Mike Tyson, Mitch Blood Green situation. It's the Larry Holmes. I forgot who that was. He jumped on that car and kicked him. Like a boxer, different.
Mm-hmm.
It's all that happened. Welcome everyone to another edition of Not Just Another Sports Show, also affectionately known as No Jazz, NOJASS. And for those of you who are new to us, we did notice we had some new subscribers come in. Also, our plethora of new followers that have been coming in on TikTok. We thank you. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. YouTube, No Jazz Show. On X, and No Jazz Show. On TikTok, No Jazz Show. Facebook, No Jazz Show. IG, Instagram, NOJ.A.S.S. We're going to figure out how to get that show. We're going to talk to them people, man. So somebody's stealing our shine. We're going to take that over.
About that.
We got to do something about that. We are going to have a manifest destiny and get a copyright on No Jazz Show. NOJASS, Not Just Another Sports Show. Welcome. It was a hot weekend in sports. But before we, I got to ask this man this question after he introduces himself. My main man, always beside me. Tank, tell the people hello.
Going on, everybody? How y'all feeling?
I know they're feeling well. I know. We're going to get into how you're feeling. But before we get into how you're feeling, I can almost kind of see how you're feeling. Because I don't know if that's royalty that has you wearing that purple, or you lost a bet because you didn't play the Baltimore Ravens. I'm just trying to figure out. I know why I'm wearing blue. I know why I have my blue lunch pail, because we fed on some Panther. But we're not going to get into that because our record is not near that discussion. But Tank is wearing a division rival's color. I'm trying to understand the methodology and the thinking behind, because I would never. I just green and silver, not at all. Not at all.
Hey, just the color of what's gonna be another pelt on the wall. That's all.
That's what that is. Okay. Bulletin board talk. So I guess that's what that is. I guess that's what we're gonna call it. All right. But again, we thank everyone for joining us. We're gonna get right into it. And getting right into it, I'm going to begin, with the sport we all love, football, and the league we all love, the NFL. Game of the week, it was Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. And Pittsburgh had one job. Go ahead, Tank. Tell me what happened, man.
Well, first of all, for all these people who were calling and sending texts and everything after we lost, I'm gonna paraphrase from the coach from the program at the beginning of the movie when they lost and they asked him about why his teams seemed to fell out at the end of the season. And he said, well, if you guys are so smart, you know that we win next week, we're still bowl eligible and we'll be going to a bowl game. We've already clinched the playoff berth regardless of the fact that we lost this past week. So now we're in the playoffs, which is the second most important thing. You got to be in it to win it. So we're in the playoffs.
So to not cut you off, I'm gonna let you finish. Are you trying to tell me that Coach Mike T was using some Dan Campbell type thinking when he decided, oh, we're not going to show everything, or we're going to do this and lose to Buffalo? That's what you're saying, Pittsburgh. It doesn't matter because we may see you down the line. Now, the only way you can see them down the line is in the Super Bowl.
Hey, we planning on being there.
All right.
I was upset about it. You know, we didn't play well. We played in spurts. For whatever reason, we just don't play well in Philly. We don't. It's just that simple. We haven't won there since 1965. And granted, we don't play every year. So it's every 4 years and it rotates. But still, something from 1965 and here we are in 2024 is a long time. So
how far is that trip?
Huh?
How far is that trip from Pittsburgh?
It's just a couple of hours. So it's not. I think it's like 2.5 hours.
So is it the fact that you all ride the bus, you Uber, like what's going on? Like I'm trying to. You had one job.
It's a. I can't explain it. I don't know. I know. We played in hostile environments before, but actually, I think that it means more to Philly than it does to us.
Absolutely.
Because Philly, they win those games. They win the home games. When they come to Pittsburgh, we beat them. So they do lead in the series, but the fact that we got 6 Super Bowls and they got 1, they got an inferiority complex.
That sounds like an argument we have.
Yeah, so but one of the main things is Pickens was out. Pickens was out, and it hurt us in 2 ways. It hurt us obviously with the passing game. We couldn't get downfield. We didn't have the 50-50 ball. We don't have another dynamic receiver. Calvin Austin is fast, but he's not the answer. Jefferson isn't the answer. And I don't know, we got to send out an all points bulletin for Mike Williams to show up. So the passing game was hurt. And the running game was also hurt because without that passing game to help open up the running game, Najee's running against 8-man fronts again. So, it hurt. We didn't play well. We were out of sync. The defense played well in spurts. When Najee fumbled, that killed it. I mean, they went on a 21-play drive.
Right.
21-play drive is basically unheard of. It's like, how do you even get 21 plays in a drive? But he did that, and what bothered me even more than him fumbling was his body language afterwards. When he fumbled, they showed him on the sideline, and he looked so down and so defeated, like he just lost the Super Bowl. Like he did a Rashad Mendenhall. It was like his head was down, his eyes was, you would think that, man, that was the last game of the season and it was the Super Bowl and we lost because of that fumble. And you couldn't put him back in the game because he wasn't in. It was bad. I was mad. I'm still mad, but I'm getting over it. But we just weren't in sync. And we weren't in sync. And I'm not blaming and saying, yeah, we just didn't play well. But a good reason why we didn't play well was because Philly did.
Philly did.
Philly played defense. Yeah,
I think you
we
need
can.
I think you need Pickens' presence with Slate and Quinion Mitchell. I think you kind
Mm-hmm.
of need him to offset because with him being out, that definitely put them at an advantage. They have two very good corners, and then if you're missing one of your best route runners,
Yeah,
uh,
you're in trouble.
you could be in trouble with those two guys, most definitely. Most definitely.
Yeah, but I think, and and they out schemed and out coached us also. But I don't think that will happen again if we play it again, especially with Pickens being back. And I'm not blaming everything on the fact that Pickens wasn't there. I'm not taking anything away from the fact that they outplayed us. They did to us what we generally do to other people.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that.
Now there was another
But
game.
we're gonna get Baltimore this week though. We're gonna spank that booty.
I mean, you look like you're rooting for them, but there was another game that was very exciting. It looked like Buffalo was going to pull away from Detroit, and Detroit showed, how electrifying they are. Dan Campbell was Dan Campbelling, and has Josh Allen with that performance.
Yep.
Two weeks,
Yep.
2 weeks straight. Has he locked up the MVP?
I don't think he's locked it up yet, only because we got a few more games left. But I think it's between him and Saquon because
Right.
Saquon's Saquon didn't do the same damage that he'd been doing previously against us, but he's still up in in the hunt to break Dickerson's record. I think Saquon. This could be like the year that Peyton and McNair were co-MVPs. Because if you take Saquon, remove him from Philly, it's not the same thing. That whole offense runs through Saquon. And Josh Allen, people say what they want to about him, this and that, but the dude is dynamic. He can run the ball very well, and we all know he can sling it. He's cut down on his mental errors as far as throwing interceptions this year. And think about it, he's lost his best receivers from last year.
Yep.
This is a new group, and Amari Cooper hasn't been lights out or anything since he got there. Keon Coleman is a rookie, so he's still figuring it out. But for whatever reason, Josh is showing that he's a great quarterback because he's lifting that offense and running it through pedestrian players for the most part.
Now, let's not forget how dynamic James Cook has been.
Yeah, Cook is, but
James been cooking like
yeah,
he has shown he is a run threat, and
mm-hmm.
he actually is a mismatch for linebackers. Like he sneaks through holes, gets open downfield. He's definitely like a small wide receiver, running back type of threat. He definitely has been doing his thing to help Josh Allen.
Yeah,
His prolific play.
and Josh's decision making has gotten even better, and that's what's really elevating him. Not just what he does physically, but what he does mentally. He's not making those mistakes. He's not turning the ball over. He's making the right reads. He's throwing the ball in a position where only his receivers can catch it. And what can you say about Josh? You can't take anything away from Josh Allen. Some people do. Some people have different reasons for why they don't like him or think that he's overhyped or whatnot. But he's not. He's a great player, and he is definitely a top 5 quarterback. And if you want to say top 3, I'm not gonna argue with you. And this year, he's playing quarterback better than anybody else in the league.
What he does, he has this ghost. The saying, it's the gift and the curse. You made it to AFC Championship game, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't received a lot of flack because of that. Then Burrow is in the same boat. We're not gonna get into Burrow. It's just he's in the same situation where you're living off of that. So now you got to get beyond that, and hopefully this could be his breakthrough year. In order to do that. Now, speaking of decision making, what do you think about Dan Campbell and the onside kicks? He was doing the trickery and all the things with the with offensive linemen coming out of the backfield. Yet it doesn't seem to translate into the W's that you need, especially in games like that.
I think he's doing it now simply because that defense is decimated with injuries, and he knows they can't stop anybody. I mean,
So
their games now are basically, it's a good possibility of them being shootouts because they can't stop anybody, and he's doing whatever he can in order to get at least one more possession so that they can seal the victory.
absolutely,
And now they've lost David Montgomery for the year, so they're
yeah,
down one running back. And Gibbs is dynamic, but that two-headed monster
that they had
made them
right.
special. Yeah, but those injuries, it's a war of attrition for them as far as defensively. And if they don't make it to the Super Bowl, that's going to be why. It's not going to be because of Campbell's coach. He's been doing that since he became the head coach. That's just what he does. And the guys believe in him. But I know now they know, hey, if we got to score 31 because the defense is going to give up 30. And it's not because the defense, those guys are just horrible. It's you've lost that many, what they got, 16, 17 players on defense on IR. And they lost Henderson. So what can you do? I mean, you don't, there's only so much next man up you can do before it takes a toll on you. I mean, you cut off both my legs and one arm. I'm not gonna win. I'm going. It's not a fair fight anymore. So I don't have a problem with what he's doing, and it's also relaying to the team. I don't think he's relaying it to them purposefully on purpose, but subconsciously is that those guys know, hey, we can't stop them. I don't believe that we've got what it takes on defense to stop a good offense. So we got to try to steal at least one or two extra possessions so that we have a chance to win.
So you're now looking at saying the Philadelphia Eagles with all of their players is definitely better than the Detroit Lions. And we're talking about best team in the NFC. It's definitely better than the Detroit Lions with a depleted group. So this makes Philadelphia the team to beat.
Yes, I think so.
In the NFC.
I think so. I mean, who else? If Philly is clicking on all cylinders and they don't decide that they want to, and they keep letting the offense run through Saquon, they're going to be hard to beat. I don't think that there's a team in the NFC, if they're clicking on all cylinders, they're going to play Philly well. Teams can, but I don't think all things being equal, that anybody's able to beat Philly. Nobody. I don't think anybody can match Philly offensively in the NFC other than Detroit. But their defense is the problem.
Before we get on to the next one, sticking with the name Campbell, is it Devondre?
Yeah.
Devondre Campbell, San Francisco. Backtracking a little bit, walked off the field, quit. You know what's funny about him? His father's name is Luther, and Luther Campbell, affectionately known by us people out of Florida. Everybody know Luther. He has a song called "Don't Stop, Get It." So I'm confused at why this man with a father with the name Luther has decided to stop
and not get it.
and not get it. And technically, contextually, he doesn't get it. For him to do that, and that was just like that was bad. That was bad on his part. And so, that was just an aside because that Campbell name was sticking out there. Now moving forward, who's getting it? or who's about to get his chance. Raheem Morris has decided to part ways. Well, not part ways because he's still there, but Kirk Cousins' starting position has been relinquished, and he will now, and Michael Penix will get his first NFL start this week. I think they play Washington next week. Oh no, is that game? Yeah, the game is.
They play the Giants this week.
They play the Giants. So that's a good tune-up game for him. You know, the Giants tend to allow people an opportunity to develop.
Look good.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that move for Atlanta? Moving forward, I guess.
Said that he was the quarterback for the rest of the season, and he needs to stick with that. If Penix goes out and stinks it up for next 2 weeks, you can't go back to Cousins, because then you risk stomping on his confidence and stomping on the team. As far as, man, he's an 8th overall pick, and they don't believe in him. Now we got numbnuts back under center who's only thrown one touchdown in the past 5 games.
That allow him some growing pains, right?
Yeah,
and wasn't Riddick there?
Well, Ritter's in. Ritter is in.
He used to be in Atlanta, and both of them looked like
garbage.
It was a bad decision. It was a good decision to get rid of Ritter, and it was a bad decision.
To get Cousins.
You know, to replace Ritter. But I think Penix Jr. was actually the, future of that. But I'm not. The thing is, because Cousins has been so bad and ineffective, it makes sense to say, hey, let's see what we got in this kid. But at the same time, they are still in the playoff hunt. And so you put in a guy who's got no experience whatsoever, who's also was injury prone in his 6-year college career. And we don't know if he's a mobile, if he's a threat with his feet, because he only rushed for 1 and 200 yards per season when he was in college. So it's not as if he's known as a dynamic runner who's going to be able to create plays with his feet. So we don't know. You don't know what you're getting with him at this point. Presence, you can kind of create plays, but he's looked like he looks to pass first.
Yeah.
Which is what you want. Which is what you want, especially with the dynamic athletes that you have, on the outside, to allow him to thrive. And maybe he can get it going. Hopefully he can get it going. And I think they put him in to try to stay in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, but it's iffy. It's iffy because you don't know what you get. I don't know. We aren't privy to know what they've seen from him during practice. And, but as the backup, he's not getting a lot of practice reps. He might be running a scout team, but he's not getting reps running his offense.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see what transpires. Again, it's the Giants, so you think that he's got a good chance of looking decent. So if he does, it's like, okay, that's expected. But if he doesn't look good against the Giants, then you might say, okay, what do we have here? But the fans have to temper their expectations because he's a rookie. If he goes out and
expectations week to week, because he could shine this week,
right?
And then Washington comes in, and Dan Quinn and Washington defense, knocks him back down to reality. One thing I want him to check the box on is figure out a way to get Kyle Pitts to.
I was just thinking that could be, other than Bijan running the ball,
right?
Pitts could be his best friend.
Game,
Bijan
had a good game. 100 yards. He got to figure out how to get Kyle Pitts involved. Man, Kyle Pitts is you can't, especially from a fantasy standpoint. You don't know you
Yeah.
don't know what you're gonna get week to week with that guy.
Yeah. Like that, it's like two ways. Like you got to get Pitts involved, and at the same time, Pitts has to get involved
Right.
because he doesn't look like he's out there most of the time anyway. And I mean, he's not. He hasn't flashed anything since his rookie year. I mean, so I mean, he does even when he does get the ball, he doesn't do anything with it. So
Is
I
he a
don't know.
party? Have you
Is he a
heard
what?
any stories in Atlanta that he's
I haven't heard anything about him being a party guy, but
Oh, okay.
I know they. You know, you never know. He might find out he's frequenting the city of magic in the VIP
Get
sections.
him some of
We
the
might,
wings. Get
yeah,
him
we
some
might find that out. Yeah, yeah, you know,
Shout
because
out our sponsor, Magic City Wing.
yeah, he could be hanging out in the city of magic. So,
Hanging out in the city of magic. And speaking of the
so
city of magic, we're going to move on to college and an event that happened in the city that never sleeps. It is New York, right?
yeah,
Yeah. The Heisman Trophy presentation was held Saturday, and not to too many people's surprise, but to a lot of people who, wanted it to go another way, surprise. Congratulations to Travis Hunter,
yes,
cornerback slash
definitely,
wide receiver slash cornerback, Colorado Buffaloes. His mother, his bonus father, Coach Prime, Shador, all of the top three, other top three candidates in attendance for his announcement and being awarded the Heisman. And it has come with a lot of mixed reviews. In this day and age, a lot of people call it hate. I don't, me personally, like, I don't understand the word hate in this because Genty did so well
right,
this year. Like, it's more like a man, but not. I don't think you're hating on Travis because you wanted Genty to win. It was like the closest voting, in 25, 30 years. So, it was up for grabs. And the most exciting player to the voters this year was the dynamic cornerback wide receiver Travis Hunter, the thing that you haven't seen in a while. And that could have been, along with a lot of marketing coming out of Colorado, a lot of exposure coming out of Colorado, Coach Prime, etc., allowing that push to be a little bit more louder than what's coming out of Boise State. But what do you think about that announcement, Tank?
I mean, it was good. I'm the running back, so I was going for Genty,
Right.
and but I don't have an issue at all with Travis winning. I mean, if Travis, I don't think that it should have been a runaway. So the fact it was only 200 votes, differential shows me that they were looking well at both of those players. Nobody else was even in the competition, but Travis and obviously had him going both ways is what got him that because he isn't the best receiver in college football, nor do I think necessarily that he's the best corner or DB in college. That's debatable,
Where would you rank
but I
both?
put him in the top three.
All right. So mathematically, we're going to do the algorithm. You put him in the top three. So with him playing both sides of the ball, being in the top three, the argument is, man, if he concentrated on one of those, where would he be?
I'm not sure because it's kind of difficult to say if he concentrated on just one because he played both. He played the whole game in
Right.
both positions. So it's not like snaps were taken away from him because he went both ways. I think we saw him at his best on both sides. And again, it's not necessarily given to the guy with the best stats, because stats don't always mean that you're the best.
Right.
And as far as football player, yeah, I agree that he was the best football player in the country this year. I don't think that anybody else other than arguably Genty played the game of football better than Travis. And Travis, as a receiver, he's reliant on the quarterback getting him the ball. So he did his thing there, and he also did his thing as far as on defense. And he didn't have the stats defensively at all. But the fact that he locked down one side of the field for the most part is his biggest stat. So they aren't throwing the ball to him a lot, so he doesn't have the opportunity for a lot of picks.
He did play a top 5 wide receiver. He played 2.
Yeah.
He played a top 5 wide receiver and a top 35 wide receiver. He ended up with 2 of those this year, and you have to go back and look at the film to see if he actually covered them 100% of the time. But they didn't have good games when he played them, so that could be something. Now, and I will say this: you mentioned that he depends upon the quarterback to get him the ball. The real argument that people should have been having, and there were some murmurs, was Shadur Sanders should have had one of those seats because his numbers were better than Dylan, and sometimes they play the record of the quarterback against other quarterbacks.
That's what that was. I believe that's what that was. He's like, hey, you're undefeated, and his team is ranked number 1 in the country.
Right.
And he plays the position in which he plays the top position in sports. The ball goes through him. The quarterback touches the ball every play offensively, and he got his team to be ranked number 1 and undefeated. So I think that's what got him. That's why he got that vote. But that's what got him that seat. But at the same time, you saw the number of votes that he didn't get also lets you know that they said why he was there, and that he never had a shot at winning it anyway.
Right. I think they kind of took him out of it to ensure like they kind of like didn't mention him very early on.
Yeah.
After like week 9, week 8, to kind of make sure he didn't probably get as many as he possibly could if you would have been pushing his argument. And sticking with college football, they will be playing.
Quick question. What do you think? I know Genty is a junior, so he could come out this year or he could return. What do you think he places? How do you think he does as a pro? Because we've seen there's been 2,000-yard backs before who didn't do anything in the NFL.
Okay, we're gonna make that your A. We're gonna make that your first bullet. We've seen 2,000, and we've also seen guys who had those types of numbers do very well as well. That could be a plethora of things in the NFL, because up until this year, the NFL had taken a lot of the offense away from running backs. So are we certain that these guys could not have been, your Melvin Gordons, could not have been better than what ended up happening, due to the fact that, it's NASCAR out there, it's a pass happy league, and you don't allow the running back to get involved as much to be successful, because everybody's not Derrick Henry. Saquon Barkley is in an offense this year because Saquon Barkley early was okay, and then he kind of tailed off with the Giants. But Saquon Barkley is in an offense this year where he has a threat at quarterback to run, and he has 2 prolific wide receivers that he, along with them, opens up that offense for him as well. So it's kind of hard. It depends upon placement. Now, my second bullet point being a Dallas Cowboys fan, is Boise State. I'm not high on Boise State in the league, and that's probably due to the competition that they play. And it's not to say that they haven't done very well. You know, DeMarcus Lawrence, Leighton Vander Esch didn't do well for us, but I do believe they did get a lot more hype because they were wearing the star on their uniform, and they are the level of player that needs another complementary. You know, you need another running back. I mean, you need another defensive lineman beside you to make you look prolific. You don't create havoc on your own, D-Law. You just don't. Vander Esch, cerebral, and he's going to be there on the tackle, but he was never.
Yeah, nothing.
Ugly.
Yeah, he was never spectacular.
He was never AJ Hawk, maybe. You know, but he was never spectacular. So Boise State, you got a Boise State former quarterback playing offensive coordinator that's dependent upon a running back, and he has wide receiver arguing. Like Boise State just has something with me with my bullet. So that's my thing with him. NIL changes the situation to where if he stays and goes for the Heisman next year, he could duplicate, this season. But in duplicating this season, that's wear and tear on his body. And now he could be financed for it, but that's wear and tear on his body going into the 2026 season, when he does declare for the NFL, if he decides to stay. So, I think he needs to go in a division like the AFC West, who doesn't really have a lot of defense. A little bit of the NFC West. That they play Pac-12 type football out there, but if he goes somewhere where they draft speed and they do a lot of locking, his success rate could lower. I wish him the best. It's just that thing with Boise State to me.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm not sure if he's transcended as far as from college to the NFL, or if he was just a great college running back. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, because we've had because I could think of the 2,000-yard backs we've had in the NFL who came from college, who had 2,000 yards in college, and they did little to nothing. That was going way back. There was Charles White. There was Byron Hanspard. There was Melvin Gordon didn't do anything. Dane didn't do anything. Yeah.
Dane.
And also Ricky did, I believe, but he had a good career.
He had a good season. Most of his thing was up here.
Yeah.
But he one of those. Barry was one of those.
Salam had one good year in the NFL. Rashawn Salam, yeah. But generally they haven't. No, but then the ones who have, you got Henry most recently. You got Barry, of course. You got Marcus, and those are all the 2,000-yard and Ricky. Because I think Ricky got it. But those are the only 2,000-yard college wrestlers.
In college.
Who?
Eric Dickerson.
No, he didn't.
Sharing that time a lot, yo.
Yeah, and I believe. Oh yeah, Larry Johnson had 2 good years in Penn State. He had 2 good years.
But see, Larry, how many yards did Eddie George get?
Yeah, Eddie had 2,000. Yeah, he had. I want to say he had 1,927 yards. Cool.
Yeah. I think Larry Johnson's situation was he just got ran so much in Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
And he got ran again in Kansas City, and it was just kind of
Yeah, he had those 2 outstanding years in Kansas City, and that was it. And and also you can't be putting your hands on women either, so that doesn't help. But Yeah, but
All
it's
right.
gonna be interesting. But I definitely think that Travis will probably have a better NFL career than Genty. I think he will.
I think the way they play the game allows him to.
Yeah.
The way the NFL game allows him to. And speaking of the
Mm-hmm.
NFL, congratulations to Mike Vick. Was just announced as the coach. Is it Norfolk State?
No, yep.
Norfolk State. Looks like Norfolk State is attempting to pull a JSU. Shout out before we
That's
get into that. Shout out to Teddy Bridgewater and those Northwest Vikings. Beating those Reigns.
mm-hmm.
I forgot what the Reigns name is. Jacksonville State Championship. Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater could be making a high school ascension in the college. That brings me to this point. A question. Are the colleges flawed in their hiring of former NFL players with no coaching experience? See, this is kind of different. And no college
Mm-hmm.
coaching experience.
Yeah.
Because we saw BCU try to do the same thing at Reed. Unfortunate, situations occurred. As head coaches, is it flawed in their dynamic and how they are attempting to pull this off? I think Teddy Bridgewater, if he ascends on to college, because he's right down. Teddy is right down there in Miami, where I know FIU and FAU are looking,
Mm-hmm.
and he has a name. But we're gonna get to him. Michael Vick is the name now. And are they flawed in their thinking that everyone can pull a Dion, and even Prime didn't pull a Prime because Prime coached Little League,
And
so you get that
coach high
management
school.
dynamic. Coach high school, so there's another dynamic, and that's not to say Michael Vick doesn't have. I think he was offensive coordinator for a small school for a few years too. So I may need to look at that. I don't think he's like no coaching experience, just no head coaching experience. But what do you think about that?
Yeah. I think HBCUs are doing it because
Butts in the seat.
they got to do something. Because also Vic was also in the running. He interviewed with Sacramento State, who's moving up to FBS this year. They interviewed him for their head coaching position also. But when guys don't have any real like coaching experience and you bring them in because really Dion was brought in because he's a name. Vic is being brought in because he's a name. Eddie George had no experience whatsoever and also had said that he had never had any desire to coach until Tennessee State reached out to him and said, "Hey, what you think about coaching?" And man, I ain't never thought about that, but let me think about it. And I think I understand why they're doing it because it's a name and you got to get guys who made an impact, lasting enough impact that these guys who never saw them play have heard of them or are familiar with them. These kids, they've never seen Mike Vick play. They never saw Dion play. These guys' careers were over when these guys were being born, and some of them hadn't even been born when these guys were playing. They weren't born when these guys were playing, so they hadn't seen anything other than video. But I think I like it because it's thinking outside the box. Hey, we got to do something. But at the same time, I don't like it because you got guys who've been putting in the work and grinding, working their way up, trying to work their way up to get a head coaching job. And now you bring this guy in who got no experience, but you're gonna put him over this program. And you got to remember also Vic. It's not like Vic went to Norfolk State. He's from the Norfolk area, Virginia area, but he didn't. It's not as if he's going back to coach to coach his alma mater like Doug Williams did when he went to Grambling. So he doesn't have a tie to Norfolk State. But Norfolk State said, "Hey, you want to be our head coach?"
Legend in Virginia.
Yeah. So my
Legend.
thing is, Yeah. But my thing is, I understand why they do it, and I applaud you. But you got to make the right choice, and you've also got to be patient and and realize that these guys are learning on the job. Well, Vic, you didn't do such a man. This is my first year. This is my first year coaching. I'm trying to figure it out. Okay, so you don't bring me here thinking that I'm gonna be on the field doing what I used to do. I'm trying to figure. I'm getting my feet wet.
I'm learning.
On the
You now.
Yeah.
Let's forget this is by far not a new trend. We were in high school when Ken Riley,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and especially for the HBCU, we were in high school when Ken Riley got the head coach position at Florida. And, we were in high school when Larry Little, Hall of Fame, Miami, got the head coaching job at Bethune-Cookman College, BCU now. So this is not anything new. What may be new is the trend of, and I don't know because I wasn't like into it back then, but the names
It's the
are
name
large.
recognition.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the name recognition is a little larger than it was in previous years.
Yeah. Because just like
Previous time.
when they went after when Bethune-Cookman went after Ed Reed, it's like now where's Ed Reed because of what happened. Now, as far as I know, Ed Reed hadn't gotten another offer yet. Ray Lewis has been being talked to.
Ray
I
Lewis,
can't remember what school, but he's
right?
being talked to, and it's like, okay, it's almost like you're just going after the big name and getting a flashy car and seeing if that's gonna drop. You getting a flashy car, see if that make it so if you can get the girls now. That's what it gives. That's what it comes across as. Okay, hey, we get Ray to come here. We get Mike to come here and coach. Hey, that's a nice car. That's a flashy car. The girls don't like that. Yeah. So they're getting the girl and the girls being the recruits. But these days, Norfolk State's not gonna get the same people that like let's say Dion could get because of the school, the dynamics.
Michael Vick is not stealing anybody from Virginia Tech in Virginia to
Right.
go to.
Right.
Now, let's also not forget Coach Prime's, as successful as he is, his first venture into this was being turned down by Florida State.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't feel that was what they wanted to do. So, and then, then the JSU thing happened. Now, I want to use your analogy with the fancy car. Because, when you are in the fancy car to get the girls, probably 30%, 40% of your battle, you don't have to do too much talking.
Mm-hmm.
So and it puts butts in seats, no puns intended. But it definitely is a strategy. I think all of these coaches, because Prime is still a different animal. All of these coaches,
Yeah.
when they go in, Coach George, Vic, Reed, if you get a chance, Teddy, if you get called up, work on your speaking engagement side, because that's really what it is. You got to engage with the alumni to get with you and back you, because you're going to be arguing something that's very difficult from the HBCU standpoint, and that's facility. That is, we want to grow.
Facility and NIL.
And NIL. We have to make this thing, because every kid is not going to just, I love this. Well, my daddy went to HBCU, so I'm gonna go to. You're not going to get that kid. Even their father would rather his child go get the money and go to a PWI, FCF, FBS school. So it's kind of that thing. Now speaking of NIL, Micah, what was his name? Hudson.
Yeah.
And remember, ladies, for all of your comfort and around the house wear, lingerie, comfy clothes, make sure you visit quickvisits.com. That's QUIKVISITS.com. for all of your lounge wear, lingerie wear, sport wear, workout wear, athletic wear. Make sure you go to quickbusiness.com. They'll be there for you, and you'll love that. I tell you. Do you want me to read? Do you want me to read off what he desired, or what it said he desired?
Yeah, go ahead.
Said
Yeah.
this man, his alleged NIL deal was a $700,000 minimum wire up front for 1 year to sign immediately. He wants a separate NIL deal with 3 cars for family members to sign immediately. A personal driver of his Cadillac SUV for Micah from spring practice through the end of the season. Family hotel and travel arrangements paid each game with up to 10 members to have travel tickets and costs paid for. And lastly, medical injury time off and playing after injury determined only by Micah and his family. This is getting out of hand.
It's crazy. I mean, they need to go ahead and call it what it is. They're professional players who happen to be enrolled in college. And some people say that's why Nick Saban said I'm not coaching anymore, because I'm not kid. I don't blame him.
His ass.
Yeah,
I'm not. Right.
You hadn't it the same way in the NFL. They said, "Hey, we need to put a cap on these rookie salaries because they're getting paid more than the vets, and they hadn't even stepped on the field yet." Boy, you hadn't stepped on the field yet in college, and you asking for all of this. Who the hell are you to be asking for over $1 million in perks, salary and perks? Not for the lifetime of your time there, but for just for this 1 year.
Slippery slope. I knew kids were going to. It's kind of the same, even though you got a cap.
Yeah.
But it's mentally the same as, well, he got that. I want to ask for this.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was what was going to happen. The rich going to get richer because a lot of people can afford that. But you're going to have to vet these kids, and like there has to be a new like. Do you have any suggestions for what you feel a better NIL deal situation would be?
They definitely need to put a cap on it. And some people going, man, they ought to get as much as they can. They're doing it now. I understand that capitalism and all that, but at the same time, you are there working. You might well say, you get your education and you can get your degree, and people can argue all they want. Oh man, that degree not going to be worth, whatever. You get your free education, your books and all of that. You get a stipend, and you're basically working as an intern trying to get into the NFL. I don't have a problem with giving them a certain amount, but it needs to be capped. I mean, there's no reason. And some people, oh, you just hating. I'm not hating, but do you really need to have your starting quarterback? Yeah, do you really need to have your starting quarterback making so much in college that he's driving around in a Lamborghini? Carson Beck. Do you really need that? Do you really?
Carson Beck
don't. Yeah, he driving around Athens with the Lambo. So you think he really caring about? I mean, they're getting paid, and their money, as far as they're getting that money every year that they're there. Now, and then they can go and they can transfer somewhere else because you don't like. Well, you said they need to tell them, look, this is what you're getting for this year. Sign the contract, but it needs to be a cap on it. And the next year, based on your performance, you can get the same thing or a little more. Hey, well, do I really need to be paying somebody $700,000 a year, and he's the third string tackle, left tackle? Why am I going to pay over the course of 4 years $2.8 million, and you might never be anything but the third string right tackle, and you're not playing special teams, but you're getting $2.8 million. And we know that most of these, a lot of everybody doesn't have an NIL deal, but that money that they're getting,
collective,
yeah, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't think it through. They did not think it through as far as because I'm sure they could have capped it, and whoever's paying it would have been happy. The players would have been happy that they're getting some money, and it wouldn't have been a little drop in the bucket. It would have been a decent amount. But instead, now you got guys making who can get a deal for a couple of $1 million. And if you got a rookie coach, or you at a smaller school, a smaller PWI, a smaller P5, and that coach only making, let's say, $2 million a year, you making more than the coach. Well, I don't like this coach. He's not doing it. You need to get rid of him, or I'm going to transfer, or
Somebody
I'm
gonna
just going.
pull a Russell Wilson and ask for office.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, you're not there as an employee. And now they are employees, and you can say, "Hey, this is what was going on all along, and now it's just legal, and the boosters don't have to pay it the way that they do it." But there's no reason why Texas, in the schools in Texas, because nobody got money like the state of Texas.
Thank
There's no
biggest.
reason why they can't go and run the table for the next 10 years winning national championships because they have the highest payroll. Texas
I
A&M,
see this.
Texas
I see this.
SMU.
Everybody in Texas, man.
Yeah.
Even HBCUs in Texas doing better than
Mm-hmm.
because they got they Texas itself football has its own collective, but
Yeah.
that's another story. Now my idea that I presented to the NCAA some years back, I actually did equal pay across the board
Mm-hmm.
for your freshman class, right? And I'm talking about inflationary, right?
Yeah.
Then you're there with juniors, sophomores, seniors, but you're playing. You're on that roster. Whatever you generate that year is put into what would be kind of like what do they call it when you hold something for the house?
Escrow.
Put it in the escrow. Thank you. You put it in escrow. Then you generate money that second year. Everybody pay equal off the top. Put it in the escrow. Third, fourth. If you leave your fourth, if you leave your junior year, you leave at the amount that you generated from your freshman year
Generated.
to your junior year with that amount. If you leave on your fourth year, you disperse it. Now, what I'm saying is NIL guys, the bigger guy put all that money into the collective because you came in with a guy that's just that deal. That guy still is going to have more than everybody else anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He just is, but he has to have a cap on what he gets, and most of that percentage is a collective. Whatever you make, bowl revenue or whatever. So winning still remains the incentive for your 4 years of college. If you do very well, you're probably going to end up leaving your junior year anyway because you're just doing that well. Now, if you don't do well, you're not going to be putting butts in the seat. People aren't going to pour into you. Guess what's going to happen after your 4 years? Your
Still
escrow is
get
not going to
whatever
be
you
as
got.
large. So it's kind of like an incentive pay. And still back that with some level of insurance. In the long run, the argument, oh, they're getting all of that money. They should keep it in there. The thing is, in the long run, these kids could still leave college going into their professional lives, whether it be in the league or whatever, with six figures
Mm-hmm.
and some more. Because that is a way to me. And if you leave, if you get in the transfer portal and leave, you don't get money.
You don't get the money, yeah.
You leave. You left your money on the table. After your junior year, understood. But if you leave freshman, I'm just mad. You're going to go to another school and be zeroed out. You can't get with their freshman class. Or you may have to sign something or do something or play a certain amount of games to qualify to get in on that year you came in, but that's it.
Yeah, and also the transfer portal, other than exceptions, you can only transfer once. Because it's going to 3 and 4 colleges is ridiculous.
I think you should farm wise. I think the transfer portal needs to change too. And this is what I'm saying, farm wise. You need to transfer down. For instance, if I go to Florida State and I'm upset with what's going on at Florida State and I want to transfer, I have to leave and fulfill 1 year at FAMU or fulfill 1 year like
At an FBS school.
At an FBS school.
Yeah, because that's what they used to do so they could play right away. But
right.
Now, with the transfer, they let them go to any other school.
And you have to transfer within the state. So if you choose to go to Georgia, no matter how I feel, I'm going to be in the state of Georgia for the next 2 years if I don't like it here. It's just what it is. And that way you're still farming out and you're still keeping your quality of player in your state. Because if I have a Florida player, high school Florida prospect, and he goes to Texas, you now live in Texas, buddy. We won you for 2 years at least. Because you're going to find out you don't like it here.
Yeah, and that's going to also make them look. That would also make them look not only at the school not only at the school that they're committing to, but also what options they might have. Man, do I really want to go to Texas Abilene? Do I really want to go to Texas A&I? If it doesn't work out playing in Texas, I don't want to stay in this state, period. So maybe I go somewhere else. Yeah, they've got to do something because they went too far. They went too far left with what they did with the transfer portal and with the NIL.
Yeah, they've gone a lot. They've done that. Because all your food delivery needs, make sure you go to Light Snack. That's LYTE snack.com. And make sure for all your deliveries, whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you visit Light Snack and they'll deliver it right to your door. And make sure when you get those deliveries, make sure you're ordering those Magic City wings. And remember, their motto, don't forget to lick the sauce.
I always thought that players should just get paid and get paid a certain amount and it's even. If you playing at Oklahoma, or if you're playing at Temple, you get the same amount of money. The schools or whoever is only allowed to pay X amount.
I in that regard, because it's always going to be an imbalance.
Yeah.
If Michigan sought me, like for instance, throughout that 4-year program, I said a part of my thing was a percentage of revenue of the gate. Mm-hmm. So if Michigan sought to give me a scholarship, and I decided to go, I'm looking at it from this standpoint. Oh, I get a percentage of 100,000 stands, whereas somebody at a smaller school, so that way you're not penalized. I guess there's a rate, a base rate, and then each school has, our revenue is just generating higher than theirs. It's just what it is. Can't do anything about it. But if you generate enough revenue, you might not be the class, or you might not be the era. Another kid may benefit, but one day your 60,000 seat stadium, y'all go on a win streak, win a couple bowl games, win a couple championships, get enough revenue, you can expand for the generation under you. So there has to be some level of a cap with that. And speaking of bowl games, bowl game was last night. Coming up, it's mid-December.
The LA Bowl, which was UNLV and what you call it. Then you got the one that they had, the one for West Virginia. If you 6-6, you should not be in a bowl game. And I don't count a game. Yeah, I don't count a game being played in the middle of December as a bowl game anyway. That's just that's just the end of the season scrimmage.
Which is why I say this. And I propose this because I kind of agree with Tank. I think you need to have that time off to prepare for bowls, the time of December, to prepare for late December, into January bowls. I understand the schedule with the playoffs and everything. Nevertheless, you all are just kind of, if you didn't make a bowl, you're 6-6. Guess what? You're in the film room early. You're in the weight room early. You're getting prepared for spring, what you're supposed to be doing, so you could be in a late bowl next year. The only other alternative to that ties into this. Keep it a 12-game playoff and have an NIL football tournament.
You mean NIT?
NIT. Have a football version of the NIT and let all of those just missed it and Cinderellas on that level come in and play. And you can be playing around this time. Then you can kind of gauge where you'll be next year. A lot of kids may say, well, I don't want to play in the second-hand tournament and get injured, blah, blah, blah. But you're willing to play in a December bowl game. Same difference to me.
Yeah, because the LA Bowl, the what was the San Francisco Bowl, the Campbell Soup Bowl. I mean,
a bunch of marketing bankers trying to,
And then you say we won the Campbell Soup Bowl. We're the Campbell Soup Bowl champions. No, you're not. You just won. An early scrimmage or end of the season scrimmage.
So who presented the trophy? Donovan McNabb and his mother.
They just come up with any kind of bowl. UNLV, went 10-3, and they playing the LA Bowl. And the only reason I'm bringing UNLV up is, remember we talked about this early in the season, and then we can move on because it ties in with the NIL also. The quarterback, I can't remember his name, who decided he wasn't going to play anymore because they weren't paying him the money that he said he was promised in the NIL. Well, so he refused to play anymore. That also shows you weren't that good, and they didn't need you. They didn't need you badly at all because they went 10-3, and they qualified for a bowl game, even though it's the LA Bowl. I mean, so it's not like, and he came from some small Ivy League school. So it's like, dude, you're not that important. You're not that good, and you're not going to be playing on Sundays. You're not going to be playing in the UFL either. You're not going to be playing in the CFL. You might be playing over in Tanzania.
Right.
But again, the NIL stuff. And these kids have a skewed sense of reality of how good they are when you're really not that good. Because if you leave and you're the starting quarterback and the team goes on and has its best record in forever, you really weren't a catalyst.
You really weren't a catalyst. You really weren't. Absolutely. All right. Transitioning over into another sport. And I want to begin here too, because this is not us changing the subject, but this kind of got me thinking about it. Remy Ma, Clarissa Shields, and Papoose, right?
Yeah. Remy don't want no problems.
See, and a lot of people are like, Clarissa don't want no problems because Remy, she'll shoot you. Nevertheless, I personally believe, shout out to Clarissa, movie coming out, The Fire Inside, her story, Olympic, she looked very good on the way in. Good looking woman, physically. I'm giving you that. Papoose, I'm just saying she in shape. In shape. I think it's all promotion. I think at the end of the day, it's all promotion. For the movie, for the fight coming up, for her. And her being a boxer, pugilistic artist, female, she has watched how social media and getting involved in these little antics can push people, the fandom, to want to watch it. And I tend to believe she got that from two of the greatest to do it in this era of doing it, Jake Paul and Conor McGregor. I'm gonna put Floyd in there too, but Floyd kind of he kind of jumped on their little magic carpet for himself. But nevertheless, they're going to meet in the fight. And so, is Jake Paul right now the greatest boxing promotion out there?
Arguably in the heavyweight
Like the
division.
draw.
Yeah, the draw, arguably, because, and obviously, you got to remember the Tyson thing, because it was Tyson that did a lot, that helped a lot. But now he's going out and getting McGregor, and it's because the heavyweight division, and in this fight with them is an exhibition, so it won't count against anybody's record. But it's because the heavyweight division is trash. I mean, I can't even think of who the heavyweight champion is in whichever
Or what belt?
organization it
Organization, right?
is. Because I would say it's what's the name Fury, Tyson Fury. But
Tyson Fury.
I don't think that is. I want to say he's retired. I don't know. Tyson Fury is just a big lug. I mean, that dude does not look like he's ever trained in his life. But
Right.
yeah, but Paul is a draw because he's picking people who you're gonna be curious about seeing. He's not gonna go and pick the fourth ranked contender, because
Usyk.
that's who that is. The fourth.
No, the heavyweight king.
Who?
Usyk or Usyk.
See, if Jake Paul were to fight him, Jake would get a bigger belt. He would get a bigger. He would get more of the purse.
Yeah, he'd get more of the purse.
Yeah, because
he be taking a chance and losing most definitely if this guy is the real heavyweight champion. But
yeah,
that purse,
because
Logan Paul bigger than him though.
he might be. Yeah,
Okay.
Paul is bigger than whoever this. Paul is a bigger draw than this dude who
Well,
you just
weight
said.
class.
Well, I think he's 220 something.
Okay.
But this dude who you just named, I've never heard of. That's how bad and how far off the heavyweight division is. Because there used to be a time when you asked someone who the heavyweight champion is, and everybody knew. I don't watch boxing, but I know who the heavyweight champ is. Now, this dude who you just said, I can't commit his name to memory because who the heck is he?
Right.
It's just and he's not even American. By the name, he's not an American fighter. It used to be an American fighter was always a heavyweight champ. Now everybody getting it.
Kind of like basketball.
Yeah. So yeah, Paul is
NBA.
The biggest draw, I would say, because he's a freak show. If he fights another name, it's gonna be one that he cherry picks that he's gonna probably beat because he's gonna be much younger. He's not gonna fight a legitimate heavyweight who's truly a contender. Like I said, the number 4, number 3 ranked contender, because there's a chance Paul's gonna lose. But nobody's gonna go and see it because who's the 3rd or 4th ranked contender? Nobody knows. So and the only reason anyone will watch is because they want to see Paul lose.
That's a good thing too, though.
Yeah. That's if they want to shell out the money to watch that, or they just wait till the next day and watch it as they air it. Because it's boxing, particularly the heavyweight division, it's crap. It's crap now. Tyson could actually come back and fight.
It's crap because the best contenders play on Sundays, Mondays, and Thursdays. Like you would need to have Derrick Henry versus Michael Parsons
Mm-hmm.
to have a draw. You know, football early on has given way to what the gym used to have.
Yeah.
You know, they lost that in the era when someone said Simeon Rice versus Ray Lewis
Yeah.
would have been the biggest draw. Now you have the celebrity back boxing, whereas former football players, because I think Chad Ochocinco is about to fight
Yeah, he's gonna fight James Harrison.
James Harrison, and you see now they're reversing that. I don't think it's the Jake Paul draw, but still, that's what it is. Like, your best boxers are probably on NFL football fields and NBA courts.
And wrestling, is horrible it is, it's a bigger draw than anything in boxing.
Yeah.
But
has the MMA? Nah, MMA still is not bigger than boxing.
I think it is. And out here at Vegas, every time they have the MMA or whatever, it's like it's a heavyweight fight. Everybody's tuning in. Everybody's going. Fight parties. Everybody. I mean, it's huge.
Right.
But speak back on who you first mentioned. All right, they put on the boxing gloves. No holds barred. Okay, 2 fights. Just a boxing match or no holds barred, battle royale, anything goes outside of guns and knives, any weapons. Who you got, Clarissa or Remy? First in the boxing, just boxing. Second, Texas steel cage death match.
So you get
2 fights
in their element.
Yeah,
man, that girl Clarissa is a trained fighter, man. You know what I'm saying? like I get it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it's the Mike Tyson, Mitch Blood Green situation. It's the Larry Holmes. I forgot who that was. He jumped on that car and kicked him. Like a boxer, different.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different animal. You a bad man on the street. Bad man. I think Muhammad Ali tore up somebody that was bad on the street.
Yeah,
that's a different animal, man. And depending upon which one you do first. Like if they box first, Clarissa ain't
Clarissa.
A second.
Yeah, I got Clarissa.
Yeah, like come on, man. You know,
battle royale, street fight. I still got Clarissa.
She might need she might need to. Remy might need to get in a battle, a rap battle. You know that the real deal rap battles like doing. So Remy can get a dub in there somewhere. Cause hands.
She don't want those problems.
You don't want them problems, man. You don't want.
And how old is Remy? Is Remy in her 40s?
Remy might be pushing 40. Let me see. Let me look. You ain't supposed to be giving a woman age, man. What you doing?
What's she gonna do? Whoop me? Yeah. That also. Clarissa's still in her. Huh?
44.
44. Yeah. She's not gonna beat Clarissa in anything.
Falling down.
Yeah. Clarissa's what, early 30s?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah. She ain't from the
solid.
Yeah. She ain't Remy don't want those problems. Like you said, the only thing
Remy might see club fight. You know how a club fight is. You know you get the sneak one in, pop, and then the breakup allow you to win. She might.
But that also entails you being quick and having quicker reflexes than Clarissa. When Remy does this, she gonna already see it.
Yeah, she got a snuffer. With with a Louboutin.
Yeah,
Or a
because
bottle.
yeah, she's gonna have to have something in her hand because we already know Clarissa can take a punch. Remy ain't taking one of them punches. It ain't like Remy was in jail, was in prison fighting. It ain't like she was in what was that movie? State
Penitentiary?
Property. What was
Oh,
it with all the girls who were in prison?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm,
she wasn't there.
I'm willing to bet though. I'm willing to bet that Remy don't need to fight her like a woman either. Like she come on around house and all this wide open, you know, a train. I know how to throw a punch, and you coming. Soon you take
Yeah,
the earring off, put the Vaseline.
yeah. Remy need to just go ahead and go on about her business.
That ain't the remedy, Remy. But at any rate, man, it's been a great show. Any last words, Tank?
Yeah, I got something I got to get off my chest
Get
because
it.
I'm sick and tired of it. It makes no sense. This he's a young man, still a kid, and he's getting all this crap from people, from Dr. Umar to just random people off of social media or whatnot. Y'all leave Travis Henry. Damn, is Travis Henry?
Hunter.
Travis Henry? No, that was the running back.
Yeah, you don't want to be Travis Henry.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't want the
He's not.
problem.
Damn, now I can't remember what's Travis' last name.
Hunter.
Hunter, yeah, yeah. Y'all leave Travis alone. Leave Travis and his girlfriend, fiance alone. They've been dating for 5 years. Everybody's talking about she's this, that, and the other. Y'all don't know those people, the relationship. You going by some snippets you see on TV and you don't know. You just looking at it and you're saying, well, all of a sudden, everybody's damn body language, damn specialist. Leave that man alone, leave her alone. If they want to get married, let them get married. And hopefully things work out the way they want them to. And if they don't work out, oh well. I mean, I've never seen so many grown people talking down on some high school to college sweethearts who are saying, hey, we're getting married. And when they interview Travis and you ask him, and he say, yeah, everybody knows. And I tell you, I love my woman. He's an honor student. He's gonna graduate with honors. He doesn't have 5, 6, 7 babies from 5, 6, 7 different women. He doesn't have a criminal record. He's not out getting in trouble. He's not getting DUIs or speeding around campus in a Ferrari. He's not stealing crab legs. He's not stealing laptops. He's going to class, going to practice, excelling on the field and off the field, and not getting in any trouble. The only headlines that you ever hear about him are things that he's done on the field, and he's going to win these awards. That's all you hear about him being involved in. Everybody else they keep talking about, oh, she's no good, she's this, she's that, la la la. We don't know that. You don't know that. Just leave them alone, let them be, and get your damn life. I mean, you got 40, 50, and 60-year-old men all in his man's business for no reason. At least if you want to do that, wait until something happens legitimate before you start talking. I mean, he's the guy's doing everything right. Leave him a damn alone. Also, and then I get off my soapbox. His NIL collective money from Colorado, he doesn't take any of that money. He goes and takes it, and he's paying and giving 12 to 13 of his teammates money to make sure that they have money in their pocket. He's not spending or getting any of that money. He's giving it to his teammates. But y'all are gung-ho and hell-bent on saying that he's involved with the world's worst woman and he needs to get rid of her and this, that, and other, and you don't know anything. Let him live his life, and if things don't work out, so be it. But hopefully we'll see them 20, 30 years from now, and he's saying, I love my woman, and they're still together. But it's ridiculous. It's irritating, man, to see every time you open it up That's what they're talking about and dragging them through the mud. And that's all I have to say about that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I was gonna speak on that, and I don't disagree with you at all. I think for my last word, since you said what you said so eloquently, is we do need to mind our own business. The issue with it, because I am a firm believer, because I didn't do it, and a lot of people didn't do it, is he's done something that a lot of people should do early in their lives, and that's find your woman and grow with her. She has room to grow, and he has room to grow. What it is it's the bitter big brothers who see all those things that you pointed out in Travis. And when you see your little brother simping or doing something that looks like simping, and you're that good of a person, you're giving your NIL collective, all you do is practice, play, win awards, do the right thing, don't do the wrong thing. Your name is not in a negative light. Emotionally, we get beside ourselves and get in people's business because we are trying to verbally protect him from learning his woman. Shout out to my main man, Willie, said this at a wedding. Shout out to Willie in Miami, that's family. Willie said, hey man, you and your wife, whatever you do, man, keep your family out your business. Keep your family out your business. And that way, y'all will grow and work this out together without all those outside opinions. What I'm hoping she will do as she grows, because she deserves an opportunity to grow too. It's hard to find a man that good. You know, in this day and age, it's hard to find women who appreciate a man being that good, and they don't consider him a doormat. They don't consider him a pushover. But that's what you want. And you might not realize that until you are, like a lot of women, 40, 50. That guy wasn't that bad, no matter what the situation was. But nevertheless, for all women, I just want to say this in this regard, and this is to anybody. If you have gained fame off of your man's platform, off of your man's money, if you are in the club standing on couches because of your man's money and your man's platform, it should be subconscious. When your man is receiving an award, you stand. No one should have to tell you to. You stand for your man because you're standing on your own platform as well. So, with that being said, I wish those two the best future. Stop telling everybody your business on live, and we won't know what's going on. And I wish you both the best in your future, because we definitely need to get out of that business. We definitely need to get out of that business. All right. So, in the meantime, in between time, this has been No Jazz. I want to thank you all for joining us. NOJASS, not just another sports show. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you comment. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Make sure you follow us on X, TikTok. I love y'all. I'm not going to do the Tupac dance, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't care how you want it. I'm not going to do it. But I love you all. Thank you. You show love. YouTube subscribers, please comment. Hit that like button. Who am I missing out? Instagram. Share. NO.J.A.S.S. Let's go. We building up. Hate to sound cliche, but it's 2025. Tank say we coming. I like to speak it into existence. We coming. We're here. We coming. And with that being said, salute these people, Tank. Awesome show. Check in. You just watched another episode of No Jazz. Follow us on YouTube at No Jazz Show. And make sure you hit us up on Twitter at No Jazz Show. Make sure you hit us up on Instagram at noj.a.s.s. Follow us on Facebook on our Facebook page at No Jazz Show. All right? See you soon.